good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. GCC Red Crescent organizations and societies review in Muscat their domestic, regional, and international work plan in humanitarian and relief fields. The Youth and Sustainable Development Conference focuses in the Wilaya of Salalah on promoting legal culture on the digital age and commercial issues. And Al-Dakhiliya Governorate offers 2 investment locations in the wilayas of Bahla and Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar on a total area of 78,000 square meters. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine on his country's independence anniversary. The heads of GCC Red Crescent organizations and societies held the 19th meeting of the Gulf Red Crescent Committee. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Rashid bin Ahmed Al-Shamsi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Social Development. GCC Red Crescent organizations and societies review in Muscat their domestic, regional, and international work plan in humanitarian and relief fields. The meeting held at the premises of GCC Consultative Authority in Muscat discussed the action plan of GCC Red Crescent organizations and societies in local, regional, and international fields as well. It elaborated on areas of humanitarian action and relief work, laying emphasis on coordination and cooperation among respective organizations in terms of training. The meeting also reviewed the media strategy of the Gulf Red Crescent Committee. The Sultanate of Oman is hosting the meeting in its capacity as chair of the 43rd session of Gulf Cooperation Council. The Ministry of Labor in the Wilaya of Salalah in the Dhofar Governorate organized the activities of the Youth and Sustainable Development Conference in an effort to enhance the legal culture on a number of issues. The conference sessions discusses working papers focusing on the digital age and legal challenges, youth and the basic system of the state, and the role of commercial companies in serving youth. The opening of the conference was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sayyid Salim bin Musallam al-Busaidi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Labor for Human Resources Development. The 7th Arab Forum for Entrepreneurs began in the Governorate of Dhofar today under the theme E-Commerce. It is organized by Oman Information Technology Society in collaboration with the Dhofar Municipality and the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion. The 2-day event discusses several topics, including means of promoting technical solutions in e-commerce, e-payment and banking services, as well as logistics services, the role of cybersecurity in e-commerce, and the government initiatives in this field. The forum also addresses challenges facing e-commerce, and during the opening ceremony, the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion announced its implementation of 30 initiatives to support e-commerce in the Sultanate of Oman. The opening ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Faisal bin Abdullah Al-Rawas, Chairman of Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The GCC Bureau of Education launched a program titled Analog Bodies Gathering to discuss ground reality of education in member states. The program offers an opportunity for the officials to discuss modern educational projects and programs with special emphasis on secondary education. The gathering, which was held in Salalah, included working papers covering general, technical, and vocational education challenges posed to education over the past 5 years and global models of education. الداخلية Governorate offered 2 investment locations for the establishment and operation of 2 full-service commercial centers, as well as 2 souks for selling handicrafts and local products in the wilayas of Vehla and Al Jabal Al Akhdar. On a total area of 78,000 square meters, these projects come to improve the commercial services of the aforementioned wilayas, activate the partnership between public and private sectors, attract investments, as well as to provide direct and indirect job opportunities. The Ministry of Labor's second forum for grooming second-line leaders began in the wilaya of Salalah and the Governorate of Dhofar. The forum, which was organized by the Ministry of Labor, witnessed a participation from 88 specialists in the field of strategic planning and human resources management. It discussed a number of topics, namely understanding the concept of leadership, delegation and direction, integration between emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence, in addition to the skills required by a leader to enhance the chances of employee success. This forum also aimed to acquire the employees with knowledge and skills necessary to raise the work performance and to develop it in such a way to deal with the requirements of the future leadership. The Oman Down Syndrome Association held a meeting with the parents of the children with Down syndrome in the Governorate of Dhofar. The meeting reviewed ways to enhance cooperation among a number of special care institutions to provide awareness services to deal with children with Down syndrome in terms of mental, educational, and rehabilitation aspects. The affiliates of Al Wafa social centers also took part in the meeting, along with some volunteers, and stressed on the significance of dealing with such children and blend them into the community through various activities. Still to come on News Bulletin. A ship is designed to test the use of wind power in reducing carbon emission in the maritime sector. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Russian drones struck Ukrainian grain facilities at the Danube River port of Ismail overnight in what a senior official said was a systematic attempt by Moscow to prevent Kiev from exporting grain to the world. The Deputy Prime Minister said the port's export capacity had been reduced by 15%, and that 13,000 metric tons of grain had been destroyed. Grain facilities in Odessa region on the Black Sea also came under fire in the 8th wave of attacks on Ukrainian port infrastructure since Russia quit UN broker deal last month that had allowed Kiev to ship its grain via the Black Sea. Maui Police Chief John Pelletier outlined the grisly search for bodies after fires that devastated the city of Lahaina, Hawaii. Pelletier said a thorough search was being carried out, but some victims had been so badly burned that it was impossible to recover any more from the ashes. Between 1,000 and 1,100 people were still unaccounted. Authorities have asked relatives of those missing people to provide DNA samples to help in the effort to identify the remains found in the rubble. The fires, which started the night of August 8th, wreaked widespread destruction in Lahaina, the city of about 13,000 people on northwestern Maui and the Hawaiian Kingdom capital. Firefighters continue battling a forest fire in the northwestern Turkish province of Kankali today as it spread for a second day because of high temperatures and strong winds. The Turkish Interior Minister said more than 1,200 people from 9 villages were moved to safety, with 48 people needing medical treatment. Authorities confirmed that by today morning, the fire had spread across around 3,700 acres and had been contained but not brought under control. A ship was designed to test the use of wind power in reducing carbon emissions in the maritime sector. More details on the following report.
A Cargill-chartered dry bulk ship has launched on its first voyage since being fitted with special sails, aiming to study how harnessing wind power can cut emissions and energy usage in the shipping sector. BAR Technologies, which has designed boats for the America's Cup, developed the sails, which were built by Norway's Yara Marine Technologies.
The Pyxis Ocean is a pilot project that we've been working on for many years with many partners. And it basically resulted in a ship being retrofitted with 2 wind wings, which are hard wings, close to 40 meters tall, which are going to help the propulsion of the ship and save fuel, and with that saving CO2 in the end of the day.
The maritime industry, which accounts for nearly 3% of global CO2 emissions and is under pressure from investors and environmental groups to accelerate decarbonization, is exploring a number of different technologies, including ammonia and methanol, in an effort to move away from dirtier bunker fuel.
The maritime industry's got a decarbonisation challenge ahead of it. This is not going to solve the problem entirely, but it's a step in the right direction. You know, on these vessels, we're saving 1.5 tons a day, so 30, even 40% of fuel consumption.
Cargill, one of the world's biggest ship charterers, has been exploring wind-assisted propulsion as one cleaner energy option. Wind was a common way of propelling ships before the switch to steam and diesel engines, but is now mostly used only for smaller vessels.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. GCC Red Crescent organizations and societies review in Muscat their domestic, regional, and international work plan in humanitarian and relief fields. The Youth and Sustainable Development Conference focuses in the Wilaya of Salalah on promoting legal culture on the digital age and commercial issues. And Al-Dakhiliya Governorate offers 2 investment locations in the Wilaya of Bahla and Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar on a total area of 78,000 square meters. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here at the newsroom and the studios. Thank you for watching and have a good night.